Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. Time to give you a comparison video that I was really excited to bring to you guys. The Pixel 9a versus the iPhone 16e. These are both companies' entry or, budget, friendly phones that is supposed to be easy on your pocket and you're still getting a lot of bang for your buck. Yeah, this is a common thing that companies are doing. They've been doing it for years, but now it's very clear that they know they have a market for certain people and they're going to hone in on it. So I'm going to start and do a comparison with these for you. I'll give you a spec rundown. I'll go over the basic hardware, cameras, and things like that, and software. And we'll just go from there. So let me start with the obvious here, because this is where the iPhone loses instantly. It just loses. It's just no comparison. It's price. Now, the iPhone starts at $599 for 128 gigs. And then the Pixel starts at $499 for 128 gigs. So this is something that, the iPhone can't win in this situation. Apple is considered a top-tier premium brand, and they like to milk customers for that. $599 for 128 gigs is a joke. It's just not worth it. So this here is the 512 gig, because with the iPhone you can get three steps. You can get $599 for 128 gigs, $699 for 256 gigs, and the one I have here is $899 for 512 gigs. This is a huge fail on Apple's part, because they had so much potential to bring this and really make it a budget-friendly phone. But Google, on the other hand, wins. You've got, unfortunately, you do have a $499 price tag for 128 gigs, but you do have a 256 gig version, which is what I have here, for $599. So the 256 gig version obviously is a clear winner. It's the price of their 128 gigs. So price out of the way, yeah, it's obvious that that was going to be a win for Google. So let me get things situated. I want to talk about the main spec rundown. I'll do that, but I really like to talk about some of the key things that we're looking at here. So the design of both of these phones. These are kind of entry-level versions of their own respective brands. So the back of this looks like an iPhone SE, so to speak, but the front is of an iPhone 15. It's what it kind of looks like. So it's strange that this is, they didn't go with the iPhone 16's front, but they kept this, but that's called saving money on hardware. And then what Google did was they gave the front of their other premium devices, but they gave a completely new rear side of it. It's just different. It's just a whole nother thing going on here, and they've just decided to create a new design. Now, looking at both of these, I actually like them both for what they are, respectively. But, having an ultra wide lens, Google gets the bump on that, because this camera module is raised up. It is a nice, simple design. They're both really simple designs. But I do like Google has 4 colors. Apple only came with 2 colors, black or white. I don't know why they did that. They just came with 2 colors, black or white. And Google gives you an array of colors. This is the iris color. And then they have 3 other colors. So it's just a huge thing to behold, that I like these vibrant colors. Black phones are cool and everything. They're stealth mode. But I do like to have some colors. And this white isn't really white. It's almost like a porcelain, a really soft porcelain. So it looks really good. They both look good as far as these colors right here. But Google gets the head nod again for hardware and the color schemes that they're doing here, because, they're giving you, just a better all-around package when it comes to hardware. Now, I'll agree with you guys in saying that, the bezels on the Pixel are huge, but, the front of the displays, they're both cool. They both look good. I'll get into text, real heavy text stuff, I guess, at some point. But this is just looking at these displays. They're both cool. I mean, they're both nice. But the more appealing one is to not have the cutout at the top. And I really wish Apple would have done that. That's just a huge fail on their part, in my opinion. But it is something that... why is there an extra logo here? That's weird. It's just something that they've done, and it's just what it is. We have to accept it. So I will say, though, that the displays on both are really nice. I'll fire up a video here in a second, but hardware-wise, I like them both, and I really do like this. It would have been nice if they'd had another camera module, but again, they didn't do that because it's going to look like the current generation of one of their other phones, so they just didn't do it. And I think that's why Google didn't do it as well. But even though I like the camera bar on the Pixel, even the short 2 or 3 days I've had this phone, and I'm going to be following up as well with that as well. But the time I've had to use this phone, this is a sleek design. They're both sleek. It's hard to choose, which one I like better, because I do like this single camera design. I like small devices. They're both pretty small. But it would have been nice if Apple would have done like just another lens with the same thing, and just something different. But this is the back of the iPhone SE, so I get it. But once again, Google gets the head nod for design and hardware. The iPhone feels a little bit more premium in hand, but the overall design package, I think I'll just give that to Google for sure, because why not? Let's go ahead and fire up a video, the same video on both, and then we'll look at the displays, and we'll take a listen to audio. Now this is a full HDR 4K 60 video that I shot. And they both look great, folks. I can't say that one is just more spectacular than the other, just looking at them. But what I will say is, while the Pixel is said to have this peak brightness over the other phones, the iPhone definitely looks brighter and more punchy, more vivid with this content. It looks really, really strong. They both look great, like I said, but the iPhone just looks a little bit more clear and brighter, I should say. So listen to the audio on the Pixel, and I think the Pixel is going to lose this battle. I don't know, we shall see, but it's going to be hard for you to hear because the mic is facing me, but just take a listen. Next thing I did was to get home and put on those step rails. So it didn't come with step rails. It did not come with step rails right here. Those are aftermarket. Let's crank up the iPhone. $100. These step rails were $120, and I installed them right there in the driveway, obviously. And then I did the LED. Yeah, as suspected, the iPhone just sounds better. It's much louder and more clear, more tone, and that's what I expected to happen. Apple's iPhones typically have some really strong speakers, but over video you probably can't tell too much the difference in quality, but in person I can. Again, they're both really good, but I definitely give the head nod to Apple for this one when it comes to the screens quality and brightness, and the speaker volume definitely goes to the iPhone 16e. Now let's move on. Now, an area that's going to be truly controversial, or subjective, I should say, not controversial, is the software. The iPhone software is stable, and it goes hand in hand, because both of these products are products that where the company's using their own chip, and Apple's chip just blows everybody's chip out the water, unfortunately, right now. And it's super stable. That's what's important to me. iOS 18.4 or 5 we're on right now. It is super stable, very stable. And it's just going to come down to probably what you're doing on the phone. I definitely like the Apple's iOS's software suite, because it offers more features more things that are free to the consumer than the Pixel software. And it comes down to things for me personally, like the editing software. Like I can jump on iMovie, I can create a whole film and do it right from the phone. But if I do that with Android, I have to download one of the products that I purchased, PowerDirector Pro, and I have to put. So it's just, again, personal preference. But I think I like. Now I love stock Android. I love Google software. That's not an issue. But when I'm comparing these two, initially when I took both of them out of the box, the Pixel was giving me some issues with processing photos that I took, just a few different things. But it is leveled out now, but it still doesn't compete when it comes to performance overall for day-to-day tasks. The iPhone is just buttery smooth, period. There's just nothing to it. Now, speaking of buttery smooth, let's get it here. Let's see here. This phone is 60 to 120 hertz. So you see down there, smooth display. Yeah, Google has that, and that's where Apple kind of lags behind when it comes to offering things to the consumers. They just don't offer as much when it comes to things like that. But, how could I not like a stable operating system in a phone that's put together to perform? And just to talk about the processors inside of both of these, they're completely different. They're night and day. The iPhone's going to win every time. This is Google's best chip, and this is Apple's best chip. Technically, for their phones, is matching everything else. And so I feel like if a person wants to argue that, you know, the Google Tensor chip for the G5 is going to be fire. Okay, I hear you, it may be, but I don't think it'll ever compete with Apple's silicon chip. That's just what it is. I'm a fair, honest reviewer, and I'm also a heavy Android user, and my favorite Android phone is right now has been the OnePlus 13 for quite some time. So I feel like this is the problem with a lot of Android phones. There's too much going on, and they also rely on Snapdragon until Google can get their chip in peak performance, and it can be like Apple's silicon chip. It's just not going to be a comparison. So performance-wise, software-wise, I definitely give the head nod to Apple. No ifs, ands, or buts. So Google has taken the price, they've taken the design and the way it looks and everything, and the hardware. They've kind of hardware feels better over on the Apple, but I have to give the complete package to Google for what they're offering, the colors and the way it feels, different things. So Google's taken a few slight edges here, but you know, I think the real be all for me would be probably the cameras and the battery. Now we'll get to the cameras, but the battery life, wow, the battery life on the Pixel is actually really good. It beats out Apple's iPhone 16e by a little bit. I mean, I'm going on, I'm actually on day 3 with this phone, I believe. And this phone cannot last, while it has a good battery inside and it's optimized great, the Pixel just lasts longer on battery. It's got a 5,100 milliamp hour battery inside. And so, you know, it's just lasting. It's just doing great. I haven't charged it but one time in the last 72 hours. And while I'm not using it full throttle yet with like phone calls and things like that, I can tell that this will be a better battery life device from this device. I can just tell. Because when I wasn't using this phone with battery, with a SIM card, when I hadn't transferred my number over yet, it still performed the same. So I can make it through roughly a day and a half, and over here I'll be able to get 2 days probably minimum. So yeah, that's from my usage and experience with reviewing cell phones and actually physically using them. I think this phone will be good. All right, guys, so there you have it, man. It's later in the day at the finishing of this video. I've been out and about, so I was out, typically go to car dealers and look around and stuff like that. But I was at the Cadillac dealer, so I said, I'm going to shoot the video footage here for stabilization. So I started walking around the dealer. And you can see how well the camera quality is and how well the video footage is. Now, these are just short clips. I could definitely use both of these phones to record footage on the channel. I'm pretty sure I can. The Pixel typically has a different tone to the colors. And then also, because if you look at that part in the video where I'm showing the red car, the red CT5 or CT4, whichever one it was, the SUV, and the iPhone was extremely accurate. And the Pixel, for some reason, had it a little bit more flat than it should have been. But nonetheless, it's still a good camera. It just doesn't compete for video with the iPhone, in my humble opinion. But both cameras are great. Like I said, I could use both of these cameras to use footage for a YouTube channel or a vlog or something like that. I think they both did phenomenal. The iPhone definitely wins for camera, though, in my opinion. A lot of people say they don't buy their phones for the cameras as the main thing, and I get it. I know a lot of people don't, but as a content creator, I'm definitely looking to have some great cameras on a device, even if it's a pocket-friendly device like these, like lower in price. They need to shine in the camera area because where we are in the world today, this is a social media world. So everyone is looking to have, content, show content. And so with that said, I think the 16E did a little bit better than the Pixel. I think the 16E is in line with the cameras in the iPhone suite, and then the Pixel is in line with what Google is offering on the other 9 lineup. Video isn't great on the Pro models for the 9. It's not phenomenal, I should say, but it is pretty decent. But it still doesn't measure up in a lot of areas to other phones out there. You've got the Apple lineup, you got the OnePlus lineup. There's so many phones out there that have better cameras than the Pixels. It's crazy for video and photos. But with that said, this isn't a crazy option. This is a phenomenal option. And I think if it's just going to come down to it, let's recap here. Let me get my sheet out here because I was taking some notes. And I think when it comes down to it, I give kind of the head nod. I give the head nod to the Pixel 9a for the hardware and design. The iPhone feels more premium in the hand. And it I like how it looks, but I think the Pixel looks better. I think it feels really good as well. It has the completely flat back here with the camera module, and with the iPhone, you have a little bit of rock if you're that person that texts on the table. I don't see how people do that, but some people do. So, but nonetheless, both of these look good from the rear. They both look decent from the front, but the Pixel, it's a catch-22. The Pixel has large bezels, and then the iPhone has the cutout at the top from the iPhone 13 series. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's a catch-22, but I would take the Pixel design over the iPhone at the end of the day, I guess. I mean, it's a tough call. They're both really nice, but I love the colors that are available on the Pixel. You get a bigger screen, you get a lower price. Yeah. So hardware and design, I give the edge to the Pixel. The price, the Pixel wins altogether. Software, I give that to Apple. The iPhone, I think the software on Apple is way more stable. It's more friendly when it comes to social media, just a lot of different ways. And it'll get updates for quite some time to come. The Pixel will too. Yeah, we shall see. But cameras go again to the iPhone. Performance, I think, is going to go to the iPhone. Software is subjective, but I think the iPhone software is more stable than the Pixel software. Battery life goes to the Pixel. So there you have it, man. I mean, a good rundown for you. I think it's still going to come down to your personal preference. I would choose the Pixel. I would recommend the Pixel in to a person who's ready to save some money and still looking for a phenomenal phone on battery, really good cameras, good design, software is good. It's just a good package for the price. The iPhone is way overpriced. You still got a 60 hertz display, if that means something to you. The Pixel has a 60 to 120 hertz display, and you get 256 gigs for $599, opposed to $699 for 256 gigs on the iPhone. The iPhone gives you 128 gigs for $599. So starting price of the iPhone is the top of the line price for the Pixel. Now this is the 512 gig version, so this was $900. So you do the math on which one you think will be better for you. They both outweigh each other in some areas, but I think in the end, you have to decide what you're looking for when you're looking for this price range of a phone. It's your man Jay. I hope you guys enjoy the video and stay tuned for more content. I will be back with more. Trust me. The Pixel 9a follow-up is coming, as well as the 16e. Stay locked.